Hi, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be a pick a card about your health, your body, your money, and what the holidays will hold. Hello, my lovely viewers. Welcome back. Now, I've laid out all of the cards, and I will tell you what the stones are so you know which one you want to pick and what to call it. This is the Desert Rose Selenite, and this is pile number 1. This is the Fairy Pyramid, and this is pile number 2. And this is an Amethyst Point, and this is pile number 3. So take a moment, pause the video if you want to, and pick your pile, and we're going to get into the readings. Pile number 1, number 2, or number 3. All right, check out the timestamps below and let's get your readings. Okay, this is the reading for those of you who picked the Desert Rose Selenite. And I was shuffling for the Desert Rose Selenite. I intended to just pick 3 tarot cards, but I picked one and then 3 came out together so that I picked the third one. And unfortunately, the third one is the Tower, but I think it's right. I think it's what you need to hear. So this is what we're going to talk about in this reading. So the theme of this reading was health, body, money, and the holidays. So I'm going to start out with the first card, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles says that there is prosperity on the way, that you're starting a new chapter in your life as far as prosperity goes. And this also relates to your body, because the pentacles represent not only money and wealth, but also your body and your relationship to your body, how you treat your body, how you treat yourself. So you may be starting a new health routine. You may be starting, going back to the gym, or starting a new eating plan, or something having to do with maybe not changing your body dramatically, but at least treating it very, very well. And also, this is correlating also to a new plan having to do with your money, with your wealth. So you may be putting into place a savings plan, or you may be starting a new job, or you may be just changing up the way you do your banking. But something new is happening with both your body and your money at this time. The next card is another unfortunate card. I'm referring back to the Tower here, which is usually an unfortunate card. The Seven of Pentacles. So this card is showing us someone who is not looking too happy. The landscape looks bleak. He's looking down. He's got 2 pentacles in his hand, and the other 5 are stuck in the ground. So this card very often indicates a loss of some kind, a downturn in finances, a loss. Somebody took advantage of you. You made a bad choice. You went on a wild spending spree, and now you have to pay all your bills. Something with your money is going on a downward spiral. It also could indicate that your health is taking a dip, that something about your health is not going to be quite right. You're going to feel weakened, or you've got an injury that you have to recuperate from, or you're sick. So I'm not trying to plant the seeds of sickness in anybody's mind. I don't think anybody should ever will themselves to be sick. And certainly you'll see later in this reading that your words are very important and your thoughts are very important. So you should never allow yourself to believe that you're going to get sick because of something else. You can wish wellness on yourself all the time. But what this tarot card is saying is that now you're really going to have to examine things. So let's back up a second. Now we just had the Ace that said everything was starting anew and it was going to be really good. Well, could this be that you have anticipated this loss So maybe it was like a spending spree or something, you know, where you kind of anticipated that things might go south. And so you tried to put this in motion, and it might be too little too late, or it may just be that having this loss card come up is just saying, yeah, pay attention to what you were trying to do there, because you really kind of anticipated what was coming, and you do need a new track. You do need a new look at this. You do need a new method, a new philosophy going towards this. And then we have the Princess of Swords. And the Princess of Swords, if you are not an air sign, then she is a friend of yours who is an air sign. She is an air sign. She wears the symbol for air sign on her cape or shirt or whatever. She also holds a sword, and swords are intellect. They're air, they're communication, they're thoughts and power of thoughts. Now, we also have a hawk here, and the hawk has very good eyes. So hawks can see a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to say that your friend is very wise, and that she may be there to give you some very good advice. And you'll see later that the cards are encouraging you to get help, to get advice from people. So I'm just going to say that she's there. She's an air sign. Air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So you may be in for a helping hand from this friend. And then we have the Justice card. So the Justice card is saying that whatever you have been doing, now it's time to pretty much pay the piper. So whatever you did or didn't do to cause this downturn, now you're stepping up and you're going to do the right thing. So this does not necessarily mean that you're going to be thrown in jail or lose a big court case or anything. This is justice on you. So if we're talking about a health issue and you've been trying to take care of yourself, it could be that you're getting better. If you've been treating your body badly, it could be that you all of a sudden are understanding what you need to do in order to regain good health. So justice can be read here in a couple of different ways. It definitely does not mean the ruination of you and what's going on with you. Now the last card, unfortunately, is the Tower. And I say unfortunately, most people see this as a very negative card. What you have to understand about the Tower is that it means that your life is going to change. Now we have two eclipses. We have the lunar eclipse on the 19th and the solar eclipse on the 4th. And eclipses often bring about a lot of change. And that could be what this is referring to, that your life is going to change. And it doesn't mean that your entire life is just going to blow up. It could mean that something significant shifts in your own philosophy, your own paradigm, your own structure, and that change causes a shift in everything else, and so you're kind of forced to change. The Tower always means a change that you did not choose. So I would look at your life, I would try to see what in your life is weak and needs to change, and begin taking steps to change that, and thereby perhaps mitigate a little bit of this Tower energy. Now let's look at the Oracle cards. The first Oracle card is Connect with Gaia. So this is saying you need to get out into nature and ground yourself. So if you can, get outside and really put yourself in touch with trees and grass and flowers and plants and animals. Animals are also a part of nature. That's why there's a cat in this picture next to the woman who is raising her arms to the sky, and she's standing next to a tree. And I think it's so interesting that the tree has a face. Can you see that? The tree has eyes, nose, and a mouth. Trees do have spirits, and if we connect with tree spirits, it's very powerful earth energy. It's very, very, very helpful. And I think that if you connect with Gaia, it helps ground you. And grounding is something that you're going to need in this transition leading up to the Tower and even after. So I would advise you to really take this advice to heart. Make sure you make it a normal practice to ground yourself, to get out into nature on a regular basis, because you will need it. It will help you. The next card is the Wind Fairy. The Wind Fairy relates very much to the Princess of Swords cards, card that we had back here. So we have the Wind Fairy and the Princess of Swords, and they represent very similar ideas. The Wind Fairy is saying thoughts are very, very powerful. What you think is what you're going to manifest. What you say is what you're going to manifest. So make sure that you are thinking positive thoughts for yourself and saying positive things as far as your actions and yourself go. The Princess of Swords also follows that philosophy, and she may not be you, she may be a friend who is there to help you, but she is also of the philosophy that there is power in our thoughts and our communication, like words. So be aware of that you don't have to necessarily have $1 million to change the world, but you do have to have very powerful thoughts. And then we have another oracle card. This is from the Mermaids and Dolphins oracle deck, and this is saying consult an expert. And certainly when it comes to any areas of medical health, or just health in general, or to your financial health, you would want to consult an expert. And in your case, you may be consulting both. But definitely whatever area of your life is showing this loss, this difficulty, this is where you would want to consult an expert so that you can pull yourself out of it. And the final card here we have is Celeste. And Celeste says, this is messages from your angels. And Celeste is saying that a new place awaits you. And I'm going to read what is on the card. A happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. So I want to reassure you that you are being taken care of by angels, guides, your higher self. You do not have to face these changes alone. Even the Tower, when it comes to change your life, that does not necessarily have to be seen as a negative. The angels will help you with your change, whether it's a move or the change in location to where you live. And one of the things that Celeste also indicates is that even if your first choice does not work out in either a job or a new place to live, even if it doesn't work out at first, that's because there's something better, more appropriate waiting for you. And trust Celeste, trust the angels to point you in that direction and to help you. So that's the reading for the people who chose the beautiful Desert Rose Selenite. Such an unusual stone. I don't know how it grows like that, but it does. And it really literally looks like some of those flowers that grow in rock gardens, doesn't it? It's such an unusual and beautiful stone. I have another one of these. It's kind of small. It's like the size of an acorn that I keep on my kitchen altar. And I just love the energy that it gives off. It's just beautiful. And all selenites are purifying stones, so they purify everything else around them, which is why they're so wonderful to have around. They are soft stones, so don't put them in water or anything. They'll kind of begin to dissolve. All right? So that's the reading for the Desert Rose Selenite, people. Thank you so much, and let's go on to the Fairy Pyramid. All right, so this is the reading for the people who picked the Fairy Pyramid. So for you guys, for the Fairy Pyramid people, this was a very interesting reading, and actually it was kind of interesting how similar it is to the Desert Rose Selenite reading. But we start out, I picked 3 tarot cards for each person, and then the people, and then I picked out 4 oracle cards. So the first card is the 5 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups is kind of a sad card. It's a person who's really feeling down, really not feeling like their cups are full, feeling like things are empty and they don't have what they need. In the Rider-Waite deck, these are the people who are kind of wearing not enough warm clothing, and they're out in the snow and they're walking by a church and they look like, they could really use some help. In this case, this woman has her window open to the elements. Her cups are mainly turned over, and she just looks very, very sad. So at this moment in your life, you're not feeling very cheery. Now, one of the cards that came up, one of the oracle cards, I'm going to read right now because I think it may have a bearing on why you don't feel so great. This is Sonia. This is one of the, which one is this? This is from the Messages from Your Angels deck. And I'm going to read what Sonia says. She says, I bring you a message from your deceased loved one. I am happy, at peace, and I love you very much. Please don't worry about me. And if the reason for your being upset or feeling down has to do with losing a loved one, then I hope this message is of some comfort to you. It is difficult when we lose loved ones, but you have to understand that there is no death. They have moved on to a different plane, but they can still be with you. And in fact, they are with you. They need some time to learn how to do the communication thing with us, but they do learn it. And the easiest way to find connection with our loved ones who have transitioned is to look for signs. Look for numbers on the TV or your phone. Look for birds or animals that come around frequently. Look for certain things on license plates or even makes of cars. Look for feathers on the ground. Look for patterns in the clouds. There's lots of different things that you can find that show that your loved ones are sending you a signal. And most of the time that signal is, I love you. The next card up, the tarot card, is the World. And the World means that something has reached completion. Now, that reaching of completion could be the person that you lost. It could be that they passed on, and that could be what completed was their life. But it could be something else. It could be some project that you were working on. It could be you changing jobs, coming to the end of a job. It could be you retiring. It could be you having a baby. It could be one of your children completing college or you completing college. So the World means that some cycle has completed, has come to an end. And that's a reason for joy, for happiness, for celebration, not necessarily feeling sad. Now, I understand if it is the death of a loved one, of course you would be feeling sad. But also celebrate their life. And remember that every cycle that we go through for a reason. The next card up is the Devil. Now, the Devil can mean somebody who comes along in your life and is trying to manipulate you or control you or get you involved with things that are bad for you, like drugs or drinking too much or even just smoking cigarettes, you know, just anything that's just really not good for you. This person could be the person who's trying to sort of lure you into that kind of behavior. Here's the thing with the Devil. If we take this devil analogy to the extreme, what we find is that the devil really means that you have separated yourself from divinity, that you have perhaps forgotten that you are a spark of the divine, that you are never alone, that you always have your guides and angels around you, and that there's no reason to feel like you are separate from your source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. You are never separated from that. You are a part of the divine. You are divine. And so even if somebody has left your life and changed out of your life, that doesn't mean that you have lost your connection to the divine. So that's what I really want to say here. And it's hard for me to say it. It's really hitting me quite hard. I hope the people who are watching this reading, I hope this is really connecting with you, because it's really connecting with me and is really making it hard for me to film this video. Now I'm going to go on to the oracle cards, and this is the sun and the stars. And the message of this card is really not what I thought it was going to be. I actually read through the little thing in the guidebook about this. And also, I just want to say this card has my favorite looking cat on it. I love calico cats. I love black cats too. And I have black cats, but calico cats. One of my favorite cats in my whole life was Rosie, who was a calico cat. And here's this woman with her cat Rosie staring through the telescope looking at either the sun or the moon. Now, the name of this card is Sun and Stars, and the reason is because it's emphasizing fire and creativity. So if you have been feeling not very inspired and you want to get back to feeling inspired and having some inspiration, you need to connect with fire, because fire is your creative impulse. Fire is easy to connect to because you can light a candle. Maybe if you have a gas stove, you can even see the flame on your stove. But flames are the easiest way to connect to fire. Another very, very easy way that doesn't involve even lighting a match is just looking outside at the sun. Now, you know, you don't want to stare into the sun too long, but you can look at the sun. You can go outside at night and look at the stars. Those are also little gas balls, just like our sun. So looking at stars, looking at the sun is one easy way to reconnect with fire, and eventually that fire of creativity will ignite within you, and it will lead you into the path of new projects, of new creativity, of new love of your imagination and creativity, which will lead you out of feeling very, very depressed. So if you are feeling depressed, you need to start taking steps to get yourself on the road to recovery. Now, I'm not saying stop mourning the loss of the loved one. I'm not saying that. Grief is a very individualistic process. You know, we all go through grief in our own way. But even while you're grieving and going through that process, once you've gotten a little bit of time and distance from the actual moment of when that person passed away or transitioned, you can start to rekindle your own creativity, even though you're still mourning your loved one. Just keep that in mind. The next oracle card for you is protection. And this card is coming up with the Pisces sign in the card for some reason, and at the top also. This protection card comes up, I think, in response to the Devil card. This, oh, there's that thumb again. This card is saying that yes, there are people out there sometimes that you need to protect yourself against. And it's not very hard for you to get that protection. The first way that you get that protection is to notice that there's somebody who's challenging you or threatening you in some way, even if it's just a subtle threat or just a verbal or emotional threat, not a physical threat. The second thing that you can do is to ask your higher self, your guides, and your angels to help you protect yourself or to protect you outright. Angels have been known to do that. They've been known to sweep people out of the way of danger. So ask for protection in that way. And when you do that, that will reaffirm that you are not alone. And that may be a big part of you feeling depressed. You may just feel like you're really alone. I don't know what's going on with this reading, but it's just very emotional for me. Okay. The final card for your reading is have faith. Have faith that your guides and angels are always there with you. What does this say? Your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. So always try to be as positive as possible, even in the face of grief, of depression, of feeling all alone. Know that you're not alone. You're not separated from your source, from the universe, from God. I'm sorry, that was a hard reading to get through. For those of you who are getting this reading, I hope this is really helping. I hope this is hitting the mark. I hope you understand what I'm talking about with these cards. I'm gonna just turn these all around so you can see the beautiful messages that are here to help you. And know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to the third reading, which is the people who picked the Amethyst Point. All right, so now we have the reading for the people who picked the Amethyst Point. And we're going to start with, I gotta say, a couple of extra cards fell out of the tarot deck, and an extra oracle card fell out, so you guys got a lot of cards to go over. So the first card is the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is usually a fire sign, like a Sagittarius, and she's a person who is much loved and just doesn't want to sweat the small stuff. This is a woman who wants to be in charge. She wants to be in charge and literally wants to be large. She wants to oversee the large things and not worry about the details underneath those large things. She's much beloved by all around her, and she's very good at managing things. She just wants to assign other people to take care of the little itty-bitty things. She's a very proud woman, very warm, very generous, very dramatic. She is a person that knows her worth, understands her effect on people, and you know, strives to be a good ruler in her realm, but also loves the adulation that comes towards her. So if this is you, if you are a fire sign, then good for you. This is a really good sign. It means that your health is good, your money is good, and everything's going well for you right now. If this is not you, then this is a friend of yours that is by your side, helping you along so that you too can achieve the great heights that she has achieved. The next card is the Two of Swords. And in this card, we have someone who is trying to make a decision, but it's not clear to them exactly what their choices are. You'll notice that this woman has, she's sitting by kind of a dark lagoon or pool of some kind, and it is actually a lagoon, a swamp really. And she's got one toe touching the water, but she dare not put her foot all the way in the water because it would stir things up that she doesn't want to see. So you may be involved with something where a lot of the details are murky, you're not quite sure who's doing what, you're not quite sure what the purpose is, and so it's difficult for you to make a choice about that thing. Now, if it's a choice of getting involved in that thing or not getting involved with that thing, I would say if it's too murky, if you can't see the bottom of the pool or the lake or whatever, maybe not, don't jump in. But if it is something that you're really interested in, and you trust the people, then maybe you want to go for it. However, I would wait because you have two really good cards coming up. So rather than worry about this decision, know that you have a relationship coming up. The Lover's card shows that the person that you're going to be involved with is somebody you can really, really trust and who has your best interests at heart. And when you, well, I'm assuming that you're a woman, but if you're with this man, he feels like a king. Now, if you're a man with a man, that's great too, or if you're a woman with a woman, then she would feel like a queen. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm not saying only heterosexuals have to listen to this reading. This is definitely a reading for everybody, and some kind of love relationship is going to pop off coming soon. I think that if you are starting a new relationship and you have the Queen of Wands in your corner, I think that life is going very, very well for you. And I don't think you have to worry so much about that decision that needs to be made. I think things will work out with that, and I think that you can trust on your advisors to help you make that decision. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. It means that your wishes come true. So think very carefully about what you're wishing for, because you're going to get it. So one of your oracle cards is cleansing body and spirit. And so this would just say, take some time for yourself, really allow yourself to connect, maybe on the new moon and the full moon, one or the other or both, and really relax, tune in to you, tune into your body, tune into what it is that you want out of life, and then ask the universe to help you achieve that. It seems like you're in the mode for getting what you need and want, so it's a great time to be asking the universe for the things that you really need in your life. The next card is the Dragon, power and strength. And this is you. Now this goes along with the Queen of Wands. If you are a fire sign, or if your friend is a fire sign, then their dragon energy, their fire energy is really helping you to achieve your goals. It also gives you courage and protection. So if there's anything that you need to be protected from, know that your own dragon energy can do that. And if you need an assist, your fire sign friends are there to help you. Then we have the card that relates to the Lovers and the Nine of Cups. We have soulmate relationship with the Lovers and the Nine of Cups. So soulmate relationship means that this new relationship that has started is one that will be very important to you. Now, soulmate relationships are not always relationships that last throughout your lifetime. Sometimes they're relationships that come in and help you learn something with your soulmate, and then you and your soulmate part ways and you go on to other soulmates. It's not just one soulmate per lifetime. It does mean that you have a very, very, very strong connection with the person when they are a soulmate. And this one definitely means that you're going to be working on some spiritual issues with your soulmate. And so it could last a long time, because it does take some time to work on spiritual issues. You're not kind of like in and out when you're working on spiritual stuff. It's something that really you have to dig deep. So excellent for you, excellent for the relationship, and you've got that dragon energy there protecting everything. Just make sure that what you're asking the universe for is, of the highest intention. Don't be asking the universe for a new Mercedes when what you really need to be working on is this beautiful relationship that you were just given. The last two cards that I'm going to talk about are very interesting. Maya jumped out for you the moment I picked up the deck. Maya is telling you that you should continue your education in some way. There's something that you need to get more training on, or to get training on. Maybe it's a new thing that's really going to help you in your life. So even though you started a new relationship, I want you to think about things that you might need more training or education for, and know that Maya as an angel is there to help you figure out the financing, the timing, the scheduling, the how to get the books, how to understand it, everything. So going and getting more training of whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional school or college. It could be a more alternative type of thing, like Reiki or something. But something that you're drawn to already, that you know you need some training on, Maya is saying now's the time to do it, because you've got the universe sort of lined up ready for you to get going with that. The other card that I picked out for you is Archangel Uriel. And Uriel is saying your emotions are healing, which enables you to open to greater love. Yes, it does. It allows you to open to greater love. I will help you release anger and unforgiveness from your heart and mind. So part of what you're doing, and this may be why you're getting the soulmate card, that the relationship that you're starting is one so that you can finally put to bed baggage from old relationships where you felt like you just couldn't forgive what the people did. And what did he say? Anger. You couldn't get past the anger that you had experienced in other relationships. So Archangel Uriel is here to say that he's ready because you're ready. He's not going to impose himself on you. No archangels or angels will ever do that. You do have to ask for the help in order for angels or any guides or beings to really help you. Once you ask, you can also ask for help identifying what it is that you need to be cured of or healed from or released from. Most of the time we have it within our power to do the releasing, the healing, the changing, whatever it is. Like anger, we do have it within us to release anger. We have to identify it first and then we can release it. And so Archangel Uriel is here to help you with all of that. So that is the very, very powerful reading that we have for those of you who picked the Amethyst Point. I'm so glad that you were here for this reading. Thank you so much for joining me on this. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the reading, and I will see you next time.